family, I'm back with another video. This video was supposed to be recorded yesterday, but due to me forgetting, it's being filmed today. Today's video is my birth plan, and it's going to be a little different from other people's birth plans, only because I have two different birth plans that I want to go by, and it's been firmly embedded into my family's head. So I'm just going to go ahead and start so the video's not as long as it would be. Birth plan number one. This birth plan is if I have to labor at the hospital. As you all know, I'm high risk. I'm very high risk, to say the least. I have a blood clotting disease and an autoimmune disease, which is kind of all in the same. And for that reason, all of my pregnancies have been high risk, and the doctors like to keep a close eye on me. And for that reason, I'm never really able to go full term. So I'm always usually being induced. So the first thing is, do I want a planned induction? Maybe. And again, that's because I prefer to do it at home. But if I have to, I know towards the end of my pregnancy, I'll know, well, within the next 7 weeks, I'll probably know for sure if I can do it at home, if I'm going to be induced. So within the next 7 weeks, you guys will know. You guys will know if I'm going to have to labor at the hospital. That's just what it is. Do I want Pitocin before delivery? No. Reason for that is Pitocin is a drug that helps induce labor. It helps speed up contractions. It also gives you false contractions. Well, not false, but it helps your body create contractions. And to me, that process is very long and agonizing. If I have to get Pitocin, usually I do. So if I do have to get Pitocin, I got maybe behind it, but I prefer not to get Pitocin before delivery. Do I want to wear a hospital gown? Yes, 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 yes. For me, hospital gowns are like, I've even tried looking for my last pregnancy with Prince Nathan. I've tried looking for other suitable gowns to labor in, and none compares to hospital gowns. They're way more flexible and roomy, and you can unsnap them, and you can just be basically naked. And when you're in when you're in labor and those contractions are kicking your butt, yeah, you want to be as comfortable as possible. So yes, I want a hospital gown. Am I okay with an IV? Yes and no. Yes, if I'm at the hospital again, because I know my situation. So I know at any given time I may need a blood transfusion. I may need medications that will help the baby and myself. So I said yes, but I kind of don't want one. But I know that for my health, I need it. So yeah. Do I prefer IV? My IV unhooked during labor? Yes. Reasons for that is I stay very hydrated. When I'm in the hospital, I tend to chew on ice because they really prefer you to stay as clear diet as possible. So I chew on ice anyway. But I want the IV hooked up. Well, I want the IV installed, but I don't want it hooked up unless it's absolutely necessary. Usually when you're pushing, it's not necessary. So for that reason, during the pushing process, I don't want it hooked up. Do you want to walk, lay, or use a ball? I said I want to walk and I want to use the ball. I also want to stomp. I get this all the time. Stomp, yes, stomp. Because um, with Cordell, I think it was, with Cordell,
Then I have chocolate.
Okay. With Cordell, when I was in labor with him, well, actually, before I even got in labor, they took me up to a room and they were like, we're going to keep you for an hour. If labor does not, go downstairs. If labor does not um, progress, we'll send you home. Well, a nurse came in and she was like, try stumping. Stumping usually helps move the baby down and it helps the contractions. So, for that reason, I stumped, and within like 20 minutes, I had dilated 2 centimeters more than what I had already been, and labor like sped up. And I actually tried it with one other kid, and it worked. So I want to do the stumping technique. Um, do I want to eat during labor? Yes. I've had my kids at two different hospitals. One did not allow it. The second one did allow it up until an hour before labor. They really don't know like the exact time frame when you will actually start pushing, but I basically ate from like 3 centimeters to 7 to 8 centimeters. They let me eat actual food. And when I say actual food, they let me eat. I'm sorry, the kids are home and it's just a lot going on. They let me eat actual food, like cake, steak, everything. So that's what I do want to eat. Because who knows what time of the day it'll be, who knows how long I'll labor. Most of my kids, I labored for over 20 plus hours. So, yeah, your girl's going to be hungry. Do I want an epidural or IV drugs? Heck, yes, that's why I want the IV, but also because with Prince Nathan, I had two epidurals that failed. Um, I had one epidural and it didn't work. So when I got to about 8 centimeters after they finally believed me, um, they tried to do another one, and by then, after they installed the second one, before the medicine could even kick in, seriously, when I say kick in, he was coming, so I felt the whole thing. But I do prefer an IV, and I prefer the epidural because the IV and epidural together is God saying, like, you gotta believe me. Am I okay with a doctor breaking my water? Yes, if I'm at the hospital. Again, because it just, hospital experiences for me are so frustrating, but again, I know my body and I know the situation and the circumstances, so usually they like to break it to make it the process speed up because every minute the baby is in me after 37 weeks, things get a little complicated. So, yeah, I definitely want, if I'm there, them to break it. Who do I want in the room during delivery? I only want my husband in the delivery room. For me, that's our personal, intimate time. We can bond with the baby without family and friends. My husband actually wasn't, he left the hospital with our, how old is his 10-year-old? Literally right when I was delivering, he left thinking that labor was going to take longer. And then Sincere came out, and my mom and dad was present in the room. Um, and that was fine. Mom and dad got to help me through it, and that was a very sad, it was a bittersweet moment because I was giving birth to twins. I lost one and had one. So it was bittersweet that I had my parents there to like console me and be there during a blessing. So that's that one, birth plan one. But now birth plan two, my ideal birth plan, is a little different. Um, but it's actually a lot different. So to do majority of my labor at home is my ideal plan for my birth plan, is to labor as much as possible at home. I want less medication as possible during the at home process, and that includes over the counter medicine, Tylenol, Motrin, whatever. I want to be as comfortable as possible. So, with that being said, I want to be as naked as possible. I hate clothes, but during, again, like I said, with the hospital gown situation, I need to be as free as possible, and that's the only way I can see it. I want to walk around the house, stomp, use the yoga ball, whatever, and be on all fours. When I was on all fours with Cordell, again, the contractions weren't as bad, so I do plan on doing all fours. Um, but when you're hooked up to an IV and other restraints that the hospital have you on, the baby monitors and all that, it's pretty hard to keep the baby on the monitor and be on all fours because they have to keep moving the monitors. You got to make sure you're not snagging an IV. You don't have to constantly hear the beeping noises from the medical machines. It's just a lot at a hospital, and I want to avoid that as much as possible. During the whole process at home, I only want a small meal. Like I said earlier, I prefer to eat at the hospital during the labor process. But if I'm at home, I only want one small meal, and that's at the very beginning stages of the laboring process, because I don't know how far along I will be. So I don't know if the baby will take hours to come or a short hour to minutes. So for me, not knowing the unknown like I would know at a hospital, just a small meal, probably like soup or broth or something, just something small but to keep me full. I also do prefer my water to break at home in the natural way. I've never had that happen because I've always had to be induced. So I do want that at home water breaking experience for the first time. And once my water breaks, then I want to head to the hospital from the time my water breaks to within the next 30 minutes of us getting ready, hospital bags in the car, and so forth and so forth. But I do want to labor as much as possible at home. This option right here is my go-to plan if I'm for some reason not able to state to the EMS workers or to whoever take me to the hospital. My husband do know I do not want to go to two specific hospitals. Like, I refuse to go to those hospitals, and I'll push the baby back in myself if I had to go to either one of those two. So yeah, so that, you guys, that's my birth plan for this pregnancy. And like I said, within the next 7 weeks I will know for sure what my options will be and which one I will get to work with, and that's when I will relay it back to you guys. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.